Welcome to 500 Doors, your real estate podcast, speaking with industry experts in real estate buying, selling, planning, developing, wholesaling, investing, financing, management. If it's real estate, we're talking about it. I'm your host, Kim Hayden, an award-winning 6- and 7-figure real estate agent with over 2 decades of experience. Understanding real estate is a dream for many, that we, real estate professionals, have the ability to bring that dream to reality while building better communities and being the change we want to see. Alrighty. Welcome back to 500 Doors Real Estate. I am super excited because we're literally going coast to coast. Everybody's still warmer than California, but going from Cape Coral, Florida last week. Now we're in Pasadena. Gotta love the virtual world here. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Yeah, thank you, Kim. Look forward to being here and excited to be here.
This is awesome. You now, before we got started, folks, Mike let me in on a family secret. His wife is in radio, so today we've got to make Mike shine so he can go home and say to his honey, by the way, I had a great appearance.
Uh, Actually, she would love that.
Excellent. How long has your wife been in radio?
She's been in radio for over a decade now, I believe. So she's been in it before I met her, and she just has this amazing voice, and she's just multi-talented, like singing, plays, like she grew up doing all that stuff, so radio was just very natural for her. And for me, it's quite the opposite. I'm pretty quiet, pretty simple person, not that type of outgoing person. So
Yeah, you got to be that for radio, but that's awesome. That's awesome. So, it's the introverts that make great agents because they're busy listening. I love introverts. I love quiet people because leaves room for the rest of us.
no, I think it's a good balance. So I am a very good listener. At least that's what I've been told. And so I think it balances out.
Excellent. All right. So, Mike, give us a little bit of who is Mike and what market do you serve?
Oh, absolutely. So I serve the Southern California market, anywhere from downtown LA, Pasadena, all the way to the San Gabriel Valley, if you will. And it's a pretty vast area. We're talking about 20 to 30 miles difference, and that's how big kind of LA County is. So we do go into a little bit of North Orange County, as well too, like Brea, Yorba Linda, these cities, Fullerton. But outside of those areas, we tend to work with other agents that we collab with. So myself, I was born in Taiwan. Came here when I was 5 years old, and it's I can say that I'm living towards my American dream, and just go lucky, happy, type of person, pretty easygoing, and but work extremely hard. And there's one thing that I do enjoy is just giving back to animals when I can, giving back to the community, as well as basketball is one of my great passions as well.
Basketball, basketball is pretty popular down there. We're in a hockey country, but
hmm
basketball, where was I at? Who was talking about? I know that basketball is very, very popular in a lot of the Asian cultures. And I find that, is that because it's like an American thing, a team thing? What is it about basketball that is something that attracts you?
I think it was just something that was easy to do. Hockey is a little bit harder
Yeah.
for us in terms of getting to the rink. But I did have a couple good friends that actually played in college. So we played roller hockey when we were young, and they continued on. Whereas I went towards basketball because it was just down the street, and I could just go to any middle school or high school and just start shooting shooting
Yeah.
around. And you can almost find people. There's always people there. So it was just again, it's just kind of like a community, but it's a basketball one. So I guess that's
Absolutely. And I would agree. That's like, I think, like when you look at handball and a couple other things like that, you just really end up
handball.
creating.
Yes, I remember
Remember handball? Yeah, we
that.
haven't have that. Can you tell my age on that one? That was really popular back in the 80s and 90s. Have a ball, will go. As long as there's a wall and a ball, we got a game, right?
Oh, I used to love
So
handball.
yeah, I did too. So let's talk a little bit about what separates you. You have a team of 8 in total, but what separates you as the team lead, as a licensed real estate agent, you believe, from other real estate agents in your market that are not maybe seeing the same successes that you're seeing?
One of the things is, uh, and I have a poster of Kobe Bryant in my office, like a big one. It's actually on the other side, so you can't see it. But I mimic that in real estate. So working extremely hard. When I first started real estate, I was working nonstop. And I wouldn't recommend anybody to do that, but if you have a passion for it, it makes it a lot easier. And I found that, I didn't know I had a passion for real estate until I started. And it just, it's very rewarding because people are buying and selling. And these are big purchases. So once we close escrow, it's just one of the most rewarding jobs out there, I think. And I think there's a statistic that also shows that. But working hard, working a lot, I understood that people want things fast and quick. So I try to get people the information as quickly as possible. I try to streamline as much as I can in terms of getting valuations out, getting comparables, offers. Just try to like I use tech a lot to help me excel very quickly. Now everybody's kind of passed me on that. So, but in the beginning, it did help me a lot, and it helped me propel my business forward. But also, I think I'm just a easygoing person, and so I think connecting with people was something that's easy for me. And a lot of people, when I first started, I was 24, 25, so they thought of me as their son, uh, and so it was nice. I think they brought me into their family, and I felt just just incredible. Like I don't, I'm not the type of person with a lot of emotions, but then I do. I try to. I mean, I keep it to myself, but when people do that, it makes me feel like just on top of the world because it just means everything to me. Like, wow, they really trust me with all this stuff. And we used to go to buy properties at the trustee auctions too. They were on the court steps, and uh, we had $1 million cashier's check buying properties for people. And it was just, of course, it was a little bit nerve wracking, but
Oh yeah.
at the same time, I felt like wow, there's such a sense of trust, family, just all that. I wanted to make sure that I didn't let them down, and so I
Yeah.
think people can feel that, and I think that translates into more business and repeat business.
If you had to pick one word between two that described being in real estate, would it be a career or a lifestyle?
It's a lifestyle. Absolutely, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah,
Yeah, if
I totally agree.
I think if you choose it as a career, then um, you could do very well as well too. But I think you're not gonna people are gonna see through that, and you're not gonna have as much passion, and it's gonna show in your business.
Yeah, I 110% agree. And the reality is, unlike other commodities that can be sold or purchased, this is the biggest one. Most people don't have planes, they don't have 3 properties. This is typically the biggest one. So it has to be You have to have so much passion for it. I completely agree. When we talk about community, you've mentioned community a few times. And you talked about,
Right.
caring for the animals and caring, contributing to the community, and then basketball. So I'm listening. I'm listening. So let's talk. When I say the word community, you were to share with us, not if, because you're going to share with us, what does the word community mean to you, and what does it look like for you?
Two words. Well, okay, so legacy is definitely one of them, and then sense of belonging. I feel like, and I was watching this Instagram, this 7-year-old, I can't remember what I saw it a few days ago, but she was giving a TED talk on communication with your child, and, it helps the child grow. And that really stuck with me because um, uh, communication with our community, they've given back to me so much. So I have no I'm not a greedy person, so I feel like if everybody's winning, that's really great, especially, places where I grew up. I do want to see the community do well. I do want to see the schools do well. I do want to see the people in our community do well. And so I think I have no issues like volunteering. Actually, we donate to the schools a lot, and we donate to different animal charities a lot. And also, every transaction that I close, we always donate a small percentage from our commission, uh, you know, towards charity of the client's choice. And and for me, it's just it's an extra. It's already rewarding when you help someone, but then it's more it's extra, like that's a bonus, and it just, I don't mind um, giving back because it makes me feel really really good. But also I think people see that, and so they also like really appreciate that. um, and that in turns, like, I think it just translates to more business for us. So so all around, it's a win-win-win for everybody, like the charity wins, and the clients feel really good. I feel completely, just rewarded. But legacy is also part of it because I have a couple of kids, and boy and girl, and I definitely want to. Um, I want to show them that side of, like they could be proud of, something that we did, even though it's not as, it's not on a grand scale, but just on a local level, like they could see that, and I hope that translates into their life.
By supporting charities and bringing awareness to charities, I think that's really important because
Hmm.
we can think of the big ones. It's easy for us
Hmm.
to identify the big ones out there, but
Hmm.
there are, for every a big one, there are 1,000 local smaller ones that are being driven by passion, that are being
Hmm.
driven by somebody's story. And
Hmm.
to get that awareness and get even just that $100, $200, $500
Hmm.
check, it makes
Hmm.
a huge difference on their viability and on and how long they're able to hang in there. Yes, I know when we talk about nonprofits, there's somebody always making a profit. I get that. Some of these,
Right.
you go to the Salvation Army and your top people make a ton of money. But when you look in my community, in my city, we have a young woman who her sister died by suicide, and she started
Oh, yeah.
a local charity to be an intervention, to be that ear. And $500 to her charity makes a
Hmm.
huge difference. It keeps the
Hmm.
lights on so they can
Hmm.
serve one more person. So I love the fact that you've taken what could be in another real estate agent's hands, a very transactional
Hmm.
service, and you've turned it into a holistic service that has both the buyer, the seller, and the community all being served, and then serving further outside of the community to people you don't even know that you're helping to serve. So I think that's amazing. I think that's amazing. We
Thank
as
you.
real estate agents are out on the road all the time, and we pop in, stop in, take a look. We meet new people all the time. I believe we are literally as versed into the businesses, the events, the local philanthropists as anybody in a political office, and probably even more so. What do you think is a hidden gem that when somebody new comes to the community and you help get them situated, you say, "Oh, by the way, you should try, or you should visit, or you should go
hmm
see." What's
hmm
something that you always recommend?
Oh, wow. In Pasadena, there's so many things. I mean, Southern California alone, there's so many things you can check out. But in Pasadena, if you have a love for, if you've never seen the Rose Parade, it happens once a year. That is something definitely to check out. You have the B-52 bombers like flying by, and it's just wow. Like when you see that going by, you just they're so enormous and it just like really sticks with you. Like I've seen it when I was young and it's still I could still remember it like very clearly. But I there's a lot of Old Town, so Old Town Pasadena, Old Town South Pasadena.
I think Old Town Pasadena is where I've been, and they've got a whole bunch of
hmm
restaurants like
hmm
outdoor restaurants. They have all the
hmm
street lamps and such. That's where I think
Yes,
I went. I found an Italian restaurant in there, I believe. No, was it Italian or
yes.
was it? Yeah, I think it was Italian. But yeah, I've been there. Old Town I had to remember what it was named, but I've been craving that.
Yes, there's a big Italian restaurant that I think it's Mi Piazza. I could be wrong, but I think it could be that one. I think that's one
It has
that's been there for a long time.
outdoor and it
Yeah,
has the
yeah, the
lights and
outdoor seating.
oh, I that was and you walk in, it's like you're in this old town with the old street lights and everything. That was such a cool experience. That was
Yeah.
probably 15 years ago, and I still remember how I felt because people don't remember really per se exactly what they ate or what they bought, but they
hmm
remember the feeling.
Yeah.
The what it left them with, that emotional memory, and, I still remember that was one of my
That's
favorite
awesome.
evenings of my life. I'm so
Well,
glad you
it's
shared that.
one of our
Yeah.
yeah, well, it's one of our favorite places to go on a weekend, because, like you said, there are many restaurants there, and there's some of our favorite shops. But there's also like there you have your big shops, but they also have your mom and pop shops as well. And so it's just overall it's a beautiful setting. We love taking photos around the area because you have those street lamps. You have just it's gorgeous at night.
It is gorgeous at night. I am like I am so glad we met, Mike, because that has been literally on my mind for the last little while, and I've been trying to remember where was that? Where was that? And as soon as you brought it together, because that's where yes, been there. Been there. I know exactly where that is. So, and you said the Rose Parade, and that's something that anybody can go to and enjoy?
Absolutely. The night before the Rose Parade, people do set up around the sidewalk, so it does get a little crowded. And if you don't mind the cold, then people do bring tents and so forth. But you could buy seats, so you could buy like tickets to different seating areas. But it does go through Old Town Pasadena, and it's gorgeous. I would highly recommend anybody to check that out. And there are hotels nearby that you could just walk, and it's public. You don't have to pay for anything. You just have to kind of squeeze in a little bit, but you get to see all the nice parades. And usually there's a football game after, so you have people from out of town. It's just it's a really nice it's fun.
Well, you just
Really
added one more thing to my bucket list. One more thing to my bucket list. So, and I will put it on there because this is folks, this is how you find out what you should be doing in your community is you find it out from the local experts, the true experts. And those are your real estate agents that are actually uh you live, work, play in their backyard, in their community. If somebody were looking to move today, either purchasing or selling, and we know that over the last 36 months, we've had a lot of swing, a lot of shifts, and now there's, different insecurities within the market. What
Hmm.
would you tell that home buyer or home seller to help them prepare or engage in real estate?
I think the best part is there's a lot of different financing options at this time. And for us, we actually do work with a lot of veteran buyers, VA buyers. So having working with local banks that offer different first-time buyer credits in different, just, every bank is a little different. Like uh, sometimes like this bank wants to break into the industry a little bit, so they'll offer a first time buyer credit, but you wouldn't know that unless you or an agent or someone that you know of is working closely with them, because they don't market these, and so you have to it's all by word of mouth. So there are a lot of different things out there that helps buyers, and sometimes it's not just for first time buyers, but there's just a lot of different programs. I think that would be very helpful because the inventory, sometimes when it's tight, you do get a bidding war. So we understand it's a little tough for buyers sometimes, especially for single family homes. And but I think with these programs, it helps alleviate, maybe pay for some of the closing costs and so forth. And we know there's a lot of things that there's a huge burden, too, when you buy a home, but it's also a huge asset as well too.
Absolutely. And I feel that we are moving back away from the quick money, the flip or flop, the love it or list it, I I think we're moving back more so to where, from the 80s and previous, which was you buy a home, you invest in the home, the
Mm-hmm.
community, and it's about the long game. It's like real
Mm-hmm.
estate can build legacy for a family. Imagine if you
Mm-hmm.
buy your first home and you work to the point where you were able to keep that first home, that first investment.
Mm-hmm.
And now that investment becomes the trust for your children to go to trade school or university.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. So I think we have to look at everything a little bit differently at real estate versus the quick, the quick fix, the
Mm-hmm.
that fast cash, you know. And I love that there's agents like yourself that are really ingrained within the market. They know the options, they know the opportunities, and they're willing to take the time to ensure that legacy building is an option.
And I love seeing this legacy building, because that's the American dream. You buy a property, you wait for the equity to go up, and you have time because your kids are going through all the schools, and all the parents give back to the schools, so you make sure the it's safe, it's the ratings are good, and uh, you have a bright future for your children, and so it's everybody contributes towards that, and that's how you sustain your property value, and and the property value goes up from there, and that's how you build wealth as well.
And you know what? What's beautiful with this formula is it is a truly building better communities. It's
Hmm.
being the change, being the community you want to see. What would be your advice to other agents? Maybe agents who haven't been in the business very long and they got into it and they initially thought it a career and not a lifestyle. What would be your advice to them?
I Okay, so number one is get a good mentor, um, someone that's really willing to teach you, and you had to make sure that the mentor is willing to set clear expectations with you. I was just talking to someone from another office, and they, um, you know, just some things weren't. set, the expectations weren't set, and they had a conflict. So, get a good mentor that's willing to set good expectations for you, a good team that's willing to help and train you, that's willing to give you all the resources to help you succeed. No one succeeds alone. And so, in itself, a team or, any mentor or brokerage, they can bring that, they can help you elevate your business to that next level. And you don't have to go through a lot of trial and error. In the beginning, I went through a lot of trial and error. My broker did help me a lot in the beginning as well too. So he did a fantastic job. But everyone has limited, resources and so forth. And so, luckily I was resourceful. That's one of the things you have to be as well too. But if it could save you a lot of time and a lot of headache, a lot of stress, a lot of setbacks if you find someone that's willing to take the time to actually like. And one thing my broker did really well back then was when I first started, he was willing to let me sit in on all his meetings. And a lot of meetings I had no idea what they were talking about. And so, but I eventually I did, but I learned so much on just the way they presented, their presentations, their etiquette, and so that was a training in itself. And so if you could be a sponge, if someone's willing to let you do that, I think that will help you, and that will real life experience, it will go a long way.
Real life experience go a long way, because that's what we're doing, folks. We're touching people's lives in the right
Yes.
way, folks. Make sure it has. So real quick, I want to know where people can find you, follow, and engage with you.
Absolutely. So we have our Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. It's at the Chou Team. My LinkedIn is just my name, Mike Chou. So you can find us there, or our website, thechowteam.com.
Excellent. Mike, I really appreciate your time. And you can now go tell your wife you crushed it. You crushed it. And until next time, folks, remember, real estate's a lifestyle. And we as real estate agents, we can be the change this world needs. So you know what? I look forward to seeing y'all on the next episode.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us at the 500 Doors, Your Real Estate Podcast. Be sure to join our Facebook group at Real Estate Success with 500 Doors. Keep on watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, because we all know sharing is caring.